Hello, friends. We're going to do a shortcut, really, really short cut. And we're going to talk about a movie called The Power of the Dog, which everybody's talking about right now. What did you
Right.
guys think of it?
Well, first of all, we need to tell all of our viewers to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes,
Yes,
that's helpful.
And
like this.
More like that.
It's got a
and
Star Trek
also,
vibe to it.
I wasn't getting Star Trek from that. Anyway, so we also have a full length review of this. If you want more detail about Power of the Dog, we're doing
Look for
a
it.
sort of shortcut version of this, and then we also have the in depth review. So look for that if you want even more information. We do a total spoilery breakdown
Yeah.
of the whole film.
Right.
So
Yeah.
listen to this, watch the film, then go listen to our.
Then
full
go
length
listen to
review.
the
Yeah,
other
no
one.
spoilers here. No
All right, this
spoilers
is the
here.
Jane Campion film starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Jesse Plemons, and Kristen Dunst. And then who's the son played by? He has
Cody Smith McPhee.
right,
Yeah.
great cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a beautiful film, really beautifully directed. The music by Johnny
Mhm.
Greenwood's amazing, and it's a
Yeah.
story that takes place in Montana in 1925. And Cumberbatch and Clemens are brothers, George and Phil Burbank, and it's about their relationship. And George marries Kirsten Dunst. She comes into it, and it's really about these characters, how they evolve and how they change throughout the film, and what happens, and how Peter Gordon was Kirsten Dunst's son, how he's involved in this. So it's
And
fascinating.
it's a very sexually charged film. It's
Mhm.
might not be something to watch with your parents if you're into but
Christmas
no,
break.
it's a
Parent movie.
it's beautifully shot, and like Mark said, the music by Johnny Greenwood is to me the music was
Incredible.
just outstanding. That was
It
great.
really was.
Yeah.
And Benedict Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons
Mhm.
and Kristen Dunst, who has been great since she was a little girl,
Yep.
in films. And to me it was a bit depressing. It's a bit of a downer of a film. There's no, like I said in the other review, there's no joy in this film. Sadly, it's probably fairly realistic as far as that goes, as far as what happens if you're a certain type of person in a certain situation during a certain era.
Mhm.
And it's depicted that issue is depicted in kind of a sad
Yeah.
way, just kind of a dark way, and it does take a dark twist. But go into it with the performances in mind and the setting. The place you really
Yes.
get a feel for the place, the time, the setting, and these performances are just great. Everyone is
Yeah.
is
It's first
exceptional.
rate. Everything is
Yeah.
first rate. The
Yeah.
writing,
It's
the
beautifully
directing.
shot. My God. I mean, Jane
Yeah.
Campion's just a master at setting a tone. It feels very authentic. It's gritty. It's like everyone looks really like they've lived in these clothes for weeks.
Yeah.
And it feels very real that way. And it's also it's based on a novel, and it was written by a man who was also a rancher, so you get a lot of really in-depth detail that feels very real. And the character in the film wants to keep modern times at bay, so he doesn't want a bunch of cars. He wants to keep it horses and cattle. That's his whole dreamland, is to be in that, which is Benedict Cumberbatch's
And he's kind
character,
of
Phil.
obsessed with the past and
Yeah.
obsessed with a person from his past
His
and
mentor, and
yeah.
Yeah, because it's set in 1925, but if you just see it, it could pass for 1850. Could
Yeah.
without the cars and stuff. Oh, it kind of feels like that, but
Mhm.
it's not. It's
s-
almost modern time.
In some ways, if you go to a ranch right now, there are certain things that could be the same as they were in the 1800s. There's
Right.
certain things,
Right.
but as far as the cultural things, even the way people think about certain kinds of people who live among us,
Yeah.
and it's a character study. It's very pensive. It's thoughtful, and it's
But never boring. It's not a boring film.
It's a
No.
beautiful film.
Yeah.
And it's a
beautiful
lot
film.
about that in the Wild West, which is what Phil sort of is obsessed with. It's
Right.
sort of about like these different expectations for masculinity, how you display it, like are you manly enough? It's like, and then how that masculinity is expressed, whether it's through bullying, which makes him feel like a bigger, tougher person, and dominating the only woman on the ranch, basically, poor Rose. It's like, so you feel like George is the example of the sort of he's educated, and this is Jesse Plemons' character. He wears suits, even when he's riding a horse, he looks like he's his back's very straight.
He's very
very
modern.
formal.
I think was the
Yes.
modern.
Very modern,
going
very
brother.
formal, kind of placating his brother by riding a horse once in a while. He'd
Yeah.
got to drive a car.
Right.
And then there's Phil, who's like the epitome of like the rough and tumble cattleman who's super macho and super dominating and just insulting everyone around him. And then there's
school.
Peter, her son, who's not macho at all. He's
Right.
like, he's not a cattleman. He's also an intellect. He wants to be a doctor. He's very tall and thin, very frail. And so he's the target of all of Phil's wrath because he does not
Yeah.
fit into this masculine picture of what Phil wants
Right.
or thinks
it's
he
a-
wants. So
it's a-
that's the kind of interesting. I thought the depictions of the different types was very interesting.
It's a very well-made film. It's on President Obama's favorite films
Yep.
of 2021 list, and rightfully so. It's
Yeah.
a film to watch again. I think watch it a second time.
It's an Oscar-worthy film. I'm sure there'll
Yeah.
be some. It'll be up for many awards and win some of them for sure. And I think Jane
It'll stay with
Campion
you.
Yeah.
deserves it because he hasn't made a film since 2010 or something, like
Yeah.
10 or 12 years. Hopefully, the movies will come out a little bit faster the next
And
week.
I
Yeah,
actually, I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but when I heard he was in this, I thought that was kind of weird casting because I don't see him as like a cattle rancher. And then when I watched it, I'm like, holy shit, he really embodies it. He
Yeah.
gives it a lot of depth. You see like the torment under the surface of this, the toxic shell that he's protecting himself with, so it's also an incredible performance. There's no way he's not getting nominated for
Yeah.
a million awards. It's so
he-
good.
He can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
He feels that way. He really can.
So
But that's
check
it.
this movie out. It's
Yeah.
a good one. We all three like it.
Highly recommended, and be sure and listen to our other long-term, full-length review if you want more information about it, but watch it first.
We go into spoilers.
Yes,
Yes,
we do.
the
Yes, we
spoilery.
do. Yeah.
So watch it first before you watch the other one.
Yeah, definitely. So watch it again if you can't get enough of us.
And like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for
Yeah.
watching our shortcut of Power of the Dog. See ya.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.